Gabbie Hanna is allegedly rewriting internet history again. This time, the receipts are finally pushing back. A leaked audio from June 2026 exposes what looks like a calculated smear campaign. Gabbie wanted her fans to make a weaponized allegation go viral on X. She explicitly stated it could not come from her. That is not standard internet drama. That looks like textbook platform manipulation. Gabbie Hanna is a master of the victim narrative. But how far does that narrative actually go? It is time to uncover what happens when a millionaire creator turns a fandom into a digital hit squad. Comments on X are already calling it a classic case of weaponized parasocial dynamics. The community is completely stunned by the level of premeditation in these new audio leaks. Is this a genuine breakdown, or is it just another calculated move to shift public pressure? Let us dive straight into the receipts and let the evidence speak for itself. Welcome to the show. Dent is a small content creator. She has been critical of Gabbie since the summer of 2020. In response, Gabbie allegedly turned her fandom into a private digital army. She stayed in group chats discussing deep personal issues. She complained about her abusers thriving while actively coordinating a hit job behind closed doors. The hypocrisy here is staggering. Gabbie claimed to be triggered by ongoing harassment, yet she was allegedly orchestrating the same behavior against others. Anyway, Alyssa Pern released a video titled "The Real Reason I Left the Fandom." That dropped on June 2, 2026. Alyssa detailed how fans were terrified of Gabbie because she would lash out at nothing. That sounds incredibly familiar. Gabbie actually crashed out on commentary channels years ago for not publicly defending her. It looks like her friendships were purely transactional. Cozy up to a creator, then demand protection during a public meltdown. But the plot gets much messier. Alyssa claimed Gabbie showed heavy favoritism to fans who spent the most on Patreon. We are talking about inviting high-paying followers straight to her house. That is a massive power imbalance. Alyssa even developed a stomach ulcer from the sheer stress of the fandom. She was allegedly doxxed and harassed constantly. But like I said, the internet always keeps receipts. The comments section immediately began throwing major shade back at Alyssa. Former followers started pointing out that Alyssa was heavily involved in targeting another fan named Jen. Alyssa fired back on X, claiming she was actually the one being harassed and lied to. Suddenly, multiple fandoms collided in the comments. We are talking about Colleen Ballinger stans fighting with old Gabbie stans. Decades of toxic parasocial dynamics manifested into pure digital warfare. It is like a crossover episode nobody asked for. Let us look closer at the specific timeline of this Twitter war. Back in 2020, a group of dedicated stans controlled the narrative. Names like Tyler, Monica, Skia, and Gracie ran the Internet Defense Squad. They treated every critique like an existential threat. They allegedly harassed anyone who questioned Gabbie's music or personal actions. Dent posted a critique of one of their music videos as a joke. The response from the fandom was completely unhinged. Alyssa allegedly sent Dent a legal cease and desist letter over intellectual property. Dent claimed the signature on the document was completely forged. Alyssa fired back, claiming a legal notary and 2 separate lawyers verified the document. Dent then sent her own cease and desist for defamation. Alyssa publicly told her to kiss her ass. These are adult women fighting over Twitter subtweets. It is a complete circus. Real-world consequences quickly followed this toxic internet drama. During the pandemic, these dedicated stans found Jen's LinkedIn profile. They systematically called her former employers to spread the false allegations. Jen was interviewing for a vital role at a company she previously worked for. The interview went perfectly, and her references were stellar. She never received a call back because the stans called the office. They even bragged about ruining her employment opportunities online. Articles about the fake allegations stayed online for years. Anyone Googling Dent would see these horrible headlines. This ruined her professional reputation outside of the social media bubble. Gabbie allegedly watched all of this happen without intervening. It shows a complete lack of empathy for human lives. At this point, I have to ask you guys a real question. Do you think major influencers should face actual legal prosecution for orchestrating fan harassment campaigns, or is this just standard internet culture? Drop your thoughts below because the comments are already heating up. Now let's talk about Gracie. Gracie was an adult fan dealing with severe personal crises. Gabbie allegedly stepped in with money, gifts, and constant text spam. Over 50 messages a day during mental breakdowns. Gracie genuinely believed she was helping an innocent creator. Instead, she was allegedly being engineered into a human shield to do Gabbie's dirty work. It is a classic move. Keep the fan close. Use them until they break. When the drama channels picked up the story, Gracie was in a residential treatment center. Gabbie allegedly asked to use her relapse as a talking point for a YouTube comeback video. She needed a quick emotional scoring point against the commentary community. Once Gracie was no longer useful, Gabbie ghosted her. She labeled her as an unhinged parasocial fan. That is a brutal pattern of behavior. It is also completely detached from reality. In the audio leaks, Gabbie explicitly coordinates the timing of the smear campaign. She commands her followers to tag specific drama channels like Primink. She checked if the target had seen the tweets. She openly admitted there were 0 receipts for the allegation. Gabbie simply wanted to push pressure onto someone else because the internet pushed pressure onto her. That is pure malice. Why would a millionaire do this to a nobody? The plan was calculated. She did not want this attached to her name. She wanted plausible deniability. She wanted the fans to do the heavy lifting. Gabbie has a history of trying to cozy up to commentary channels. Maybe she thought someone would bite on the allegation. She probably hoped a larger creator would do the dirty work for her. Thankfully, that backfired. Primink and others did not take the bait. The leaked conversations show Gabbie talking to her partner about messaging Gracie quietly and safely. They use the word subtly to map out the strategy. Gabbie explicitly states that it absolutely cannot come from her. She even mentions a drama channel is already looking into it. She was trying to build a false narrative using fake accounts like Bungle X. The level of premeditation here is genuinely wild. Gabbie later sent a boilerplate email apology to her inner circle. She framed her actions as an emotional response to ongoing chaos. She immediately suggested moving the chat to WhatsApp to stay offline. Even in her apology, the manipulation never stopped. She treated her legal vulnerability like a joke. She gave terrible legal advice to fans on Twitter. She told them they would not be sued for defamation. That is objectively incorrect. Gabbie has built a 2026 brand around spiritual growth and religious pivots. Yet, behind the scenes, she was allegedly orchestrating the worst type of modern defamation. Slander is an ongoing attack that ripples into every facet of life. Gabbie said that herself. Ironically, she proved it by trying to destroy a small creator over a half-decade grudge. She is still doing exactly what she claims to despise. The bar for public creator behavior was already incredibly low. Gabbie managed to lower it further. This is on the same tier of inappropriate dynamics as Colleen Ballinger. Weaponized parasocial relationships used to shield a millionaire from valid criticism. The internet did not forget 2020. The 2026 receipts just made it impossible to ignore. Is this the end of the Gabbie Hanna cycle? Or is she just getting started? Real people were pushed to their breaking points. It is a pathetic look for someone preaching forgiveness. That is all for now. Catch you later.